Good morning. Hey, what's up, Blackfire? Good to see you. Good to see you. Sorry, I was doing the housekeeping stuff. Let's see. Got our stream manager. Let's see. Can update our status on Blue Sky. Let's see. Go to profile. Go live. Good morning, anime. Kello. This is a nice greeting, Kello. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I am once more. What's up, Voltaire? Good to see you. Oh, I am first once more. Yeah, you were first. Yep. It's a race, I guess. All right. Well, more coding. More coding. Good morning, Danny. Good to see you, sir. Welcome in. Welcome in. This may or may not be the last stream of the week. We'll see. We're taking a trip back to my hometown, see family this weekend. So I don't know how much I'll be able to stream there, but I'll try to at least make an effort. I don't know what the Wi-Fi situation's like. What is that OS and where can I download it? What OS? Because this is just Windows 11. Do you mean the TUI? Is that what you're talking about, anime? This TUI right here? If you type exclamation point bottom or BTM, exclamation point BTM in the chat, there's a link to go get it. If that's what you're talking about, is this. Excuse me. Big yawn. Whew. All right. I wrote a lot of code yesterday. Rust Bevy Jam this weekend. Not good enough to take part, but interested to follow some guys who are. Rust Bevy Jam. What is that? I don't even know what you're talking about. Rust Bevy Jam? Oh, it's a open source game engine. Oh, I think someone's had mentioned this on stream before. Interesting. So you're not going to participate? Good morning, Stefan. Long time no see, man. You're like our longest tenured member on this channel, and I haven't seen you in a little while. Ilmani, and I'm just gonna go AFK. Well, you do your thing, man. You do your thing. But good to see you, Stefan. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Well, that sounds like fun. I wonder why. Whoops. What is that event for? I can't see it. Blackfire is currently on a 15 stream streak. No way. That's incredible. Thanks for showing up that much, man. That's crazy. That's some crazy stuff. Inspire. Good morning, Inspire. How's the morning? Yeah, it's going. I mean, we've only been live for like 4 minutes, and I've only been awake for probably 15 minutes. So there hasn't been a lot of opportunities for anything to happen yet, really. But we're here. We're here once again, and we're gonna spend a little bit of time coding and trying to make more progress. You know, small steps climb mountains. Hello from Bangladesh. Nice, Shanto. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well.
Puppet is reminding you to hydrate.
Thank you very much, Voltaire's Puppet. I appreciate that. I needed this so bad. Let's see, Stefan. I stop by when I can. I am. Hope you all are doing well too. Yeah. Yeah, no complaints, man. Honestly, like life's good for the most part. Kids are healthy, wife's healthy, all that good stuff. Alright, I had a couple when I left this yesterday. I had a couple failing tests. Oh, hell no. Going to switch to Twitch just to annoy you by drinking water notifications? Go for it, man. Some people are stacking them channel points like crazy. Some people be stacking the channel points. Alright, I think, if I remember right, I think my issue was that I am not generating all the correct mocks that I need to test this class. Let's see. What are the tests that are failing? It should, let's see, file keyring, when options change handler invoked, it should reload keys. Key with ID not found in keyring. Okay, that's a problem. This is a null ref exception. Null ref exception. Alright, let's try to fix the null refs and then we'll... So from when called with options monitor and file system, it should create key file ring. So I think the problem here is this guy needs to return... This guy needs to return not just a mock path, but also a var mock directory. And then this guy needs to return mock file system. Silencio Copilot. Setup static. This is iDirectory. See if that does it. Yeah, and I think this one is the same issues. Yeah, this one's the same issue. So we just have to basically copy pasta. Back to 2.2K channel points. One day it may be time for another 10 liters of coffee and water. That's unbelievable that you guys are racking up channel points that often. I guess I underestimated how quickly people earn channel points. I don't know. I just went by what Twitch said, you know? But it looks like Twitch may have lied to me at some point. Alright, now we just have one error. And this is actually one we really care about. So let's see. Change. See, file key ring when option change handler invoked, it should reload keys. So current value, keys directory, read all text, returns, yep. Updated key, .key. Okay, so why wouldn't this be working? This should work. I guess let's do some printf debugging really quick. Let's go to a mock options monitor and let's just real quick see if anything is happening here. Hello, chat. Gotta go walk my dogs. Didn't help my friend with his car. I'll be back when I'm done. Yeah, no worries, dude. Have a good walk, man. Have a good walk. I think you can die by drinking 10 liters of water in 1 hour. Dude, that sounds terrible. I don't want to die. I'm not going to do that in a test project. CA1303. CA1303. Restart OmniSharp. Always wasted. How hard is it to config NeoVim to look like that? It's not. It's not terrible. Yeah, I mean, it took me. I mean, to get the appearance right. Oh, I mean, probably not even that long. But I probably sank 30 hours total into my NeoVim config at the beginning. But you know, that was over the course of a few days, right? So if you sat down and really hammered through it, maybe you could do it all in a single day. My NeoVim configs are online. So if you type !NeoVim or invim in the chat, you can see my configurations if you'd like. I try to avoid fussing with my NeoVim config too much. Let's see, here we go. So we got hello chat, hello chat. Okay, so something is working, which is good. How do we let's just run that one test. So let's copy that name. We'll do .NET test -- filter method. Okay, nothing matched. I don't like the fact that whenever no tests match, it looks like things failed. I don't care for that. Okay, here we go. So it did run here. But it looks like it only ran once. Good morning, Rookley. Good to see you. Well, I have 14.5k channel points. Don't know what to spend it on. Text to speech if you want. I don't know what else I could. I don't know what other rewards I could put out there for people. I could make the rewards more expensive so you don't have so many points. I don't know if that's helpful, but we could do that. Okay, this looks like it's getting... I guess the next thing we could do is some more, let's see, let's print the current value. So that's the initial key. So it's not getting printed when we set it the second time. So for whatever reason, let's see, returns full keys updated key. Updated key content, yeah, that's what we want. So why isn't our mocking? Huh.
Did we just become best friends?
Thanks for the follow on the channel, man. Appreciate it. Good morning, Bradley. How are you doing? Blackfire 33 text to speeches. Go for it, man. You can add something more expensive so I can spend more channel points. I don't know what I would add, man. Everything I've added has been chat's idea. Okay, I think this might be a bug in my mock. Let's see, we have current value. No. Should be setting the field. So let's see, whenever if I set it here, let's do console.write line. Excuse me. Mock options monitor dot current value. So there's the first time we set it. Then we set it again here, so it does get set, but for whatever the get key. Should not be null. This is not, yeah, this isn't the right thing. So get key takes the key ID, and what does it call? Get key, key ID, keys. Yeah, so what we're saying is we're hoping at that point, by the time we call get keys, that we've run the load keys function again. And the load keys function should read all the keys from disk and add them to our dictionary. But I don't think that's what's happening. Okay, so then let's just do this. Let's do oh, yeah, that's an actual bug. So when this guy changes, we need to load the keys, but before we load the keys, we actually need to make sure that we capture the new options and then call load keys. And so this guy can't be read-only anymore. Can't convert from okay, so I guess in here we don't really actually want to capture the whole monitor. Do that. Of course, that changes all of this. Okay. And then all right, let's retry this now. Okay, that still didn't work. I thought like, oh yeah, I figured this out. So we call code load keys when we first construct the keyring. Then we're registering a callback. So when every time the options change, we're going to load the keys again. And we're capturing those options. And then calling load keys again. The problem seems to be, for whatever reason though, in our test code, whenever we set this, it's not invoking the it does here, which is good, but why doesn't it do it? I can't seem to figure out why. So whenever we set this current value in our mock monitor, we're invoking the listener. Now the listener I don't know. I'm kind of stumped on this one. I thought this would work perfectly. Because of closures, maybe? Yeah, I guess it could be. It is kind of a weird pattern. More coffee sounds like a good plan. Can you write MQL4 code? I cannot write MQL4 code. I've never even heard of that. Bradley, it's not the same method call that's always returning the same thing. I don't know why. I don't honestly know why it's doing that. It does seem like there's some sort of issue with the on-change registration. Because it works once but doesn't work again, right? That's kind of a red flag. Well, I guess let's actually remove the console. Where did I put those at? Console dot writeLine. Console dot writeLine. Okay, so we don't have any of those. So let's go back to the keyring. And we'll just do a little bit of print debugging again. This is in the options change handler. I would normally use a debugger, but whenever I stream, it's really hard to use the debugger in like a really narrow window. So this is in the options change here. So this only runs a single time, which to me tells me, yeah, there's something off here. So this is registered as a singleton. iOptions monitor is going to be a singleton, which it is. At least in our test scenario, it is. We get the current value and we store that. We capture that in a field here. And then we're registering a callback on the options. And we're holding on to the listener reference so we can dispose of it. Yeah, I'm stumped. Good to see you, Volk. Kirk, it's good to see you. Good morning. Good to see you, Kirk. Let's see, are you just calling the original keys? I don't think so. Well, I am, but I think that's because the load keys is not running again, right? Because the load keys function is what clears the dictionary and then reads everything fresh. So I guess the answer is yes. I am just looking at the old keys, but that's because this never runs. I think it does. I think it is related, though, like what Kirk said. I think it is probably somewhat related to some sort of captured or not captured value the way I think it's supposed to be. Or maybe I don't understand how to test with the. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Maybe I don't understand how to test with the monitor class. All the mock looks right. And this should be the same. Well, this is frustrating. I know some people can't see this message, but like, oh, I guess you guys can. It should be on screen. But that's one of the funniest messages I've read in a while. Volk, haven't been here for long. What you work on? We're working on building or I'm working on building a personal finance app, and I'm currently working on putting together a little bit of a simple encryption system so that I can encrypt asset access tokens that go into the database for bank accounts. This is it's just an app that I'm building for myself, really. But right now we're working on troubleshooting a test that isn't giving the results that I thought it would give. That's what we're doing at the moment. Welp, time to mosey on over to the old LLM. I might turn that in. I might steal that. It sounds so Midwestern too. I love it. Welp, it's time to get going. Funnies. Welp. Okay, here's an even stranger thing though. Okay, so we're gonna go one additional level back. So we're saying, okay, what we're saying is that right now the key file ring, we're saying this only runs once, right? But what's even stranger is that the setter that's responsible for calling the callback or the on-change handler, this setter is definitely getting called twice, right? So if we do console.write, or it should be definitely getting called twice, but it's not. This is in the setter of the options monitor. So that's even more weird to me. Okay, never mind. So this does get called twice. So the change handler is the problem. Yeah, okay, so this only should get called once. Okay, so this is all working how I would expect it to work. So we new up our keyring with the initial options monitor. There's going to be no change handler set at that moment. Then we change the options monitor current value. There is a change handler registered, and the change handler should get called. So the change handler is, for whatever reason, getting called with a stale value, not a stale value, but the wrong value. File keyring. So this is good. So let's then print the options. Console.log or console.writeLine called with options. Okay, so it was called with the updated key. There we go. So that's good. And then we should be setting those here, then calling load keys. So load keys, is load keys not using the right thing? Let's see. Oh, that's calling the right thing. Options, the current options, which should be reset. That's definitely the right thing. If is null or empty, read all the file text, get path without name extension, generate a new keyring entry, set it to that ID. Okay, so then let's see what load keys gets called with. So load keys should get called twice. So console.writeLine load keys called with options.primary key ID. I don't know C#, but do you have a lambda you can wrap it in? Okay, look. So we are getting 2 calls. So why then? Is it a problem with our mock then maybe? Let's see. I think it might be a problem with our mocks. Okay, so both times we're just getting initial key. So why are we just getting initial key? So key files, directory get files, key file extension, directory path. Oh, I guess I should probably, to make it clear, we should probably do like that, and then we should come down here and say console.writeLine key file, just to make sure we know when's getting called with that. Hello, Cyberlanka. Sup, Lord of Coffee. That's actually a much better YouTuber name. Lord of Coffee. There we go. So it's not a problem with my... It's definitely not a problem with my... Okay, let's look at these mock calls. So we say get full path, returns full keys. Get file name with extension, returns the initial key ID. Setup get file name without extension. So when we're called with updated key ID, this right now never happens. This mock never gets hit. Get files, it returns the initial key ID. Oh. So I think the problem is this needs to run before we trigger the load. Let's see. That's silly if that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so that wasn't a problem with my test or my production code. It was a problem with my test code. So basically, I've got so many stupid mock calls going on that are setting up stuff that basically before this is also why this is silly. Why are we doing this here? This really should be... Oh no, I guess that's okay because we don't have a change handler yet. So honestly, let's do this. Let's consolidate these calls and we'll say, let's set up a sequence. Get files. Yeah, let's set up a sequence here. And we'll say, initially it returns this, and then next it returns that. And that means we can get rid of this call. And then updated key ID, read file text. This we can do the same thing. We can set up a sequence. And then return this the second time. Okay, I think that will still work. Object reference not set to an instance of an object when calling load key, file key ring 16. What are the odds of that? That's got to be like, that's got to be a glitch in the matrix or something, right? I mean, that's just... Let's see, 60. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Alright, we've spent enough. Honestly, we've spent enough time on this. Let's just leave it the way we had it. Good morning, Sriracha. Can you do a mock with a call count and a different action each call? Yeah, you could do that. You could do that in excuse me. You can do that in mock. Use a sequence, I think, instead. But I'm not going to spend too much more time on that. So this just checks, it just validates that, like, if we do in fact make a change to our options that are configured for our app, we will reload the keys, which is what we want. So if the application's running and I add a new key, right, it should reload the keys, which is what I want. I'll do a little formatting cleanup here. Whew. I can't stop yawning. Oh. Lame. God, I wrote so much code yesterday. Yesterday, I was just throwing shit down, man. And not like in a good way. Like not like not like crushing it, throwing it down. Like who gives a shit throwing it down? Let's see. I think that covers all the formatting things that were amiss here. Yeah, looks decent. Let's see. You can remove this. That's fine. Make this static. Make this static. Don't want to do that. Those imports. All right, I think that's a good set of tests for the keyring implementation, which is lovely. run it one more time just to make myself feel better. Alright, nothing like a set of nice automated tests. So we have our file keyring. What else? We've got our encryptor test. We've got a file keyring options. I think that takes care of it all. We did add a migration for adding the key to the user model as well as the key ID. So basically the way this all works, because I did a lot of work on this from yesterday's stream, the way this all works is our application itself will have a set of encryption keys, which can be rotated. Those encryption keys will be used to encrypt our user encryption keys, right? So we'll have encryption keys. Each user will have its own encryption key. Each user's encryption key will be encrypted with the application's encryption key. Those application encryption keys can be rotated. The user's encryption keys currently, they could be rotated, but we don't really have anything programmatically set up to do it. But the whole idea is app encryption key encrypts the user encryption key. The user's encryption key is then used to encrypt the user's data. Whenever the user's data needs to be encrypted inside the application, we will pull the user out. We will figure out which of the app keys was used to encrypt their key. We will decrypt their key, use their key to decrypt their data, right? So the benefit of this is that I believe this is called envelope encryption, but the benefit of this is then if we do have a lot of data that's stored in the database, which I don't think is necessarily going to be the case here, but could be, we don't have to re-encrypt and decrypt all of the data in our database. If we want to rotate the encryption keys, we can just rotate the application encryption key, decrypt and re-encrypt the user's key, and move on with their life. Which is all to say, we should probably do some manual testing with this. So I believe in my app command here, okay, before we merge this, let's do like a quick little check. So let's open up the browser. We'll say open database. Or actually, hold on, let's open the project. Open project. Refresh. Okay, so let's delete this guy. And let's do .NET run. Sure, I get motivated and demotivated watching your videos at the same time. Why? What? Which ones demotivate you? I don't want to demotivate you. I'll stop posting whatever demotivates you. That doesn't seem ideal. Come on, you can do it. Uh-oh. Database is locked. Oh, it is locked. You're right. Whoopsies. So what do you want to do? Create user or exit? I would like to create a user, but I don't think I can do that yet because I believe I don't have any key. I don't have a key ring set up for my application yet. So this is a little bit of a chicken or the egg thing. All right, let's go into the API. Question is, how do we want to do this, right? So we have to we basically have to have a path to where we're going to store our keys, and then the key that we want to use is the primary, and those need to be the same between our API and our CLI, right? Because we want the CLI to use the same keys. So let's do I guess let's dive down in here. This is where our database is in our development environment. It doesn't have to be, but this is where it is. So I guess let's just add a directory here called got test results. Where's the database? Should be called FiscalOS.dev.db. I don't see it. It should be here. That's weird. I don't know why I don't see it. We're in the bin folder, we're in debug, we're in net 10. Oh, there it is. FiscalOS dev. I must just be looking over it. Am I crazy? I don't see it in the NeoVim set view. I don't see it for some reason. Isn't there a way to sort using tree sitter or NVim or NeoTree? I guess is the name of it. NeoTree. Let's see. NeoTree search directory. Pretty sure there's a way to search. The default source is the file system. Yeah, okay. Come on, where are the keybinds here? I don't see them. NeoTree, search directory, keybind. // I think I just broke it trying to search. I think I just... what's up, Network Bib? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the super chat, dude. It's very kind of you. Oh my gosh, this is so slow. That's not it. Okay, I'm gonna stop screwing around with this then. Let's clean up this view. Network Bib. Hey, what about my comment? Let's see. What was your comment? Let me see. I can look if it may have gotten, maybe it got filtered out. Let's see. Let's see. StreamerBot. We can look at the action history. YouTube super chat. Your message was empty when you sent the, or at least here's what it shows me in SpeakerBot. There's no message. But if you type it in chat, I'm happy to play it. I can manually play stuff too. So if you put your comment in the I saw the title. What is FiscalOS? Oh yeah, it's a basically a finance. It's not really an operating system. So I should have known that the audience I have would be confused by it. It's supposed to just be a play on words. Network Bib. No, I meant the comment before. Oh yeah, I sorry, I missed that. Yeah, it's just a personal finance app. It's not really an operating system. Okay, we are gonna do this. So our development settings are going to be here. There we go. I guess I have to do that. Whoops. I just this is the problem with credentials on stream. You always end up leaking them. I have to go rotate them now. Hold on, folks. Hold on to your horses. All right. I can finally get myself a new PC. I bought a Threadripper 1920, a bit of an older one, of a guy for 20. I think that's euros. Is that euros? 20 euros is what you're saying? It was his son's, and he didn't know what it was worth. So what you're saying? You just took this guy for a ride? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Poor guy. You ripped him off. But I'm glad you got your. I'm glad you have a new computer. But I feel bad for the guy that you ripped off. Okay, so I have to do this off stream now. So let's see. Delete the old key. Oh, I'm sure I want to delete it. I leaked it, man. The whole internet knows about this key now. Okay. So keys directory path is just going to be keys. And then we need to make that directory. I gotta figure a way how to automate this, because I'm gonna have to do this when I deploy, and this is a little messy. I'm wondering if the app itself shouldn't, like, if you don't have a key ring set up, should it just automatically set it up for you? That's what I'm kind of wondering. That might be more user friendly. So FiscalOS.api, bin, debug, and we're gonna just drop a new folder in here called keys. And then I'm gonna copy that path over copy as path. There we go. And then I'm going to put that into my CLI project. Here, let's see, we have example settings here, actual settings here. So let's paste that in there. Obviously, we have the stupid separators to deal with. I hate that. That's my least favorite part of developing on Windows, is the fact that we have to deal with the path separator issue. Okay, so if we do search and replace, we do colon, percent sign, S, // backslash to escape. Then we do, or no, sorry, // backslash, // then we have to do backslash / G. Right? Oh, we have to, there we go. And then we do backslash // Ah, my eyes. All right, we did it. We did it. Okay, so then the idea here, the whole idea of putting that there was because now what I think I can do is let's add a command that's called public const string generate key. that. And then this will give me a nice little utility where I can say, cool, you got case commands dot generate key, and be quiet, Copilot, you don't know what you're doing. And then we'll grab, let's see, we got the password hasher, the encryptor already. And then we'll want the I guess I want the I keyring that we have registered. And then I also want the, no, that's fine. And then what we'll do is none of this exists yet, but what we'll do is we'll just have a way to say var key. Var key. And then we'll say encryptor dot generate key, like that. And then let's do we just want to save it, right? So let's do something like key await keyring dot save key. Is that what I want to do? I don't know if that's what I want to do. I can't decide what I want to do. I basically just want a command that helps me generate an encryption key and puts it in the right place, and then I can go and update my configuration to use that newly generated key, so I don't have to do this manually. But then it kind of begs the question, like, okay, if you don't have one set up, why doesn't the application just do it for you? But then if the application does it for you and you forget to persist the keys, right? Let's say you're running this in a Docker container, and you run the Docker container, and we automatically generate some encryption keys, and you start saving data into the database and stuff, and then you stop the container or something, you didn't mount the volume. You didn't mount a volume to persist the keys, well then you're fucked. Everything you put, anything encrypted you put in the database. So it's probably better if it's explicit, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We can do it. We can do this. Var keyring entry, and then what we'll do is we'll just say console.markup line is user, or no, sorry, key generated with ID. Let's do green, and let's do key ring entry dot key ID. Key with ID. Generated successfully. All right, now none of these methods exist at the moment, so I have to go implement them. This should probably be save key async is what it should probably be. Okay, let's go implement them. Encryptor. This is going to be a, what is this going to be? When we generate the key? I guess just a string. And then we need to implement that. And that should be pretty straightforward because we can just do this. Actually, we can do this. And then do return convert to base. Basically steal this line is what we're doing. Like that, and then we can come over here, and then all we have to do is say var key equals generate key. And then let's throw down a quick test for this. Encryptor test do fact public async task generate key when called should return key. Should be very similar to this test, just a little smoke test, right? It's not, I mean, I get it, it's no. This is going to be key dot should not be null. Key. We don't need to await it. It's a synchronous method. This can also become void. And now this guy should be happy. Cool. And then the save key just needs to take the key in. So let's do generate method. Go to the definition for this. Oh wow. Did it add it twice? It looks like it added it twice or something. I don't know. Something about the file got messed up. Okay, never mind. I guess if you can. So I'll do key ring entry, save key, string key. Or sorry, I guess this should be save async task. And then we'll go to file key ring. And let's implement this. Jump down here. And the only thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to basically generate. I'm going to take the key that was given, and I'm just going to, in this case, because it's the file key ring, I'm just going to write it to disk, and I'm going to generate. I'm going to use a GUID for a unique ID, and then just hand that back to the caller. Dogman, remember me? I do remember you, Dogman. You still have your Discord? Yes, I still have a Discord. Your link expired? Let's see. I don't think my link expired. Let's see, discord.stephenfreeborn.com. It should just never expire. Yeah, it shouldn't expire. Discord, maybe you're not typing the right URL. Discord.stephenfreeborn.com. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Let's see, you're over on YouTube, aren't you? There you go. I haven't been paying attention very much to the stream. I apologize. I kind of got locked in there for a minute. Is anyone still here? Yeah, I guess there are people still here. It's just, I guess I was ignoring you, so you guys are ignoring me. Which is totally fair. Okay. So then what we'll do is we'll do var id equals GUID.new GUID, and then we will say await file system let's see, I think what we should call this is we should give this its own thing. So let's do private, what does it return? Get full path. And this just returns a string. So then we'll do private string keyring path equals ifile system dot get full dot path dot get full path, and then we'll pass in options dot that. The benefit of doing this is that if they give us a relative path or an absolute path, we'll make sure we always get an absolute path. And if they give us a relative path, then we're always going to get the path relative to the wherever the application is executing or running. So then we'll do down here, instead of doing directory path, we'll do keyring path. The same thing here. So then what we can do is we can say var, actually let's do this, var key or entry equals keyring entry dot from, and you need an ID, which is just going to be GUID.new GUID, and you also need the key itself. But we can't, excuse me, we can't actually do that. We need the actual ID to be separate because we need to use that in the file name. So we need this to be ID, and then we have to say and we'll say return the entry here. That's fine. Yeah, I know that. Then we'll say var entry path equals ifile system dot path dot combine, And we are going to combine this with the key ring path and the file name. And file name is just going to be a concatenated string of ID plus the key extension. That's what I called it, I think. Key file extension. And then we'll say await file system dot. Oh, you know what? I feel like YouTube is really behind. Oh yeah, YouTube has a big latency on it. Somehow that got messed up. Should be low latency. I'll have to fix that tomorrow. Assuming there's a stream tomorrow. Let's see. Mr. Noob YouTube 27. What a username. Dogman, I tried getting in via GitHub. I don't know what you mean by that, Dogman. Can you share your development setup? This is NeoVim running inside Windows Terminal. So it's a Windows Terminal instance that has NeoVim running in it. And it's I guess actually it's NeoVim running inside PowerShell, which is running inside Windows Terminal. That's currently what I'm working with. Let's see, Dogman. I don't know if I left.
Uncle Pee-wee is telling you to drink some coffee.
Thank you, Uncle Pee-wee. That's very kind of you. Bila, I cannot code MQL4. Good morning, Uncle Pee-wee. Let's see. I don't know if I left or got kicked / banned for spamming memes, but I'll keep trying to join back. Did I ban you, Dogman? Maybe I did ban you. Hold on. Let me. I mean, I ban people and I never think about it again. Let's see. How do you see who you've banned? Hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out. Server settings. Oh, here we go. Banned. Oh yeah, you're banned, Dogman. I think yeah, I'm not sure why I banned you. Probably spamminess or something. But you're banned. I've only ever banned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've only banned 5 people from the Discord server. Good morning, Hugo. Good to see you. AZ, anything? 2E turducken? It is a 2E turducken. It is a 2E turducken. That's a good one. Man, you guys have been on it today with the jokes. Chat's had some funny ones today. Let's see, file dot write all text. Time. Oh, we have to get the path. Entry path. Okay. So now we should add a test for it, which we'll do, but I just want to see if it works in the CLI.
I'd like to say something. What do you call a pile of cats? A meowtain. Why don't melons get married? Because they cantaloupe. Why can't your nose be 12 inches long? Because then it would be a foot.
All good dad jokes. I'm gonna tell those today to my kids. Maybe that would be a fun stream command. We could have like a dad joke command, and it just generates a dad joke. That would be, I think that'd be a fun reward. Or a fun, I mean, I guess it could just be a command. Probably have to set a cooldown so people don't just tell jokes the whole stream, but that could be fun. I think that could be fun. Could be good times. All right, let's see if this works now. So we'll say .NET run, and we should see a new option, hopefully, that shows up. Oh, nope. A task was canceled. What? I guess I have to add that somewhere. What do you want to do? Commands.all? Yeah. Generate key. Try again. I remember I would listen to your stream while playing Gary's Mod in Minecraft. Well, good, man. You do you. You do you. Okay, key generated with ID. So the idea here is then this becomes the primary ID that we set in our application. And if we go here, yep, we have a new key file. Okay. That's what we wanted. Open with Notepad. I wonder how, you know how I was building that Rust application? Or that Notepad application in Rust? I wonder how you get your application to show on Windows in the select an app to open this file. I wonder how you get that to show up there. Might have to do some research on that. Cool. And there's our key. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Let's see. Terminal. And then what do we want to do? I guess what we want to do now is we want to go back to our application and we want to set that as the primary key, which we have done. And we also want to set that in our CLI tool. This is one of those chicken or the egg situations, you know? Like you need one piece of information to be able to do another thing. Sort of like how do you, it's the age-old question whenever you're building an application. It's like, how do you get the first user in the application, right? You've got to have some sort of bootstrap, you know, when you're standing something up net new. So this is something I'll have to think about how I want to do this whenever I deploy the application, because whenever I deploy the application, I'll either need to make sure that the ring, the key, the first encryption key is already set up and available. Yeah, I guess that's what I'll do. I guess I'll just do the same kind of a thing the very first time I deploy. Okay, so now we have a primary key ID set, and we also have a path to the keys directory, which means that whenever I create a user using this, so if I say .NET run the CLI, theoretically what should happen is when I create the user, I should be able to say, okay, create me, give me a super secret password. I should have got created in the database. If we refresh, we should see a user, but what we should be see, that's the more interesting bit of this, is we should have both a hash password, which is what we want, and we should also have the encrypted key. So this is my user's encryption key. My user's encryption key that's been encrypted. And then we store the key ID that was used to encrypt that key. This way we can add new app level encryption keys, we can rotate those keys, but not lose, right? Not lose the ability to decrypt or encrypt this data key. Now, if we delete the key, if we delete the key that was used, right, then we're hosed. But okay, so now let's test this all. Let's make sure this all works. Let's actually try to do something with my user. Let's just add like a test endpoint to the API to do this. So let's say we've got program CS. Let's just add a little. So we'll say dot map, I guess map post. Yeah, map post. Say test. And we'll just say from body, and let's say value, or it's like just call it request for now. Value to that. And then we'll also get our encryptor. Oh, I guess I need to also variable. So then what do we want to do? I think all we want to do is we just want to say var me equals await we got to pull the user out of the database. So we got to say user for app db context. Say await context.user users.find async, and we'll just say find the user who has the username equal to Steven. Make method async. Why are you complaining? The delicate type cannot be inferred. What? Users.find async. What am I looking for then? I guess I'm looking for single or default async. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to then take the value that came in the request and say encrypted value equals await. I don't think we have to await it. Encryptor dot encrypt async. Oh, I guess we do have to await it. And we'll say user or me. And what do we want to what do we want to encrypt? I guess we want to encrypt direct.value. And then we'll just pass cancellation token none for now. Why are you complaining? Possible null reference. I swear it's not null. I swear it's not null. Okay, then what we'll do is we'll immediately try to decrypt it, right? And we'll say await encryptor. I can't even spell encryptor dot decrypt. I mean, I know I have unit tests that are testing all this, but I just want to see it. I want to see it work. You know? And then we'll do results.ok. We can actually, what we can do is we can take this manual test and we can just translate it into an integration test. And then we'll have even more confidence. So let's do value equals rect. I guess we can do v. And then we can do e value, and then d equals decrypted value. All right, let's give it a test, yeah? Let's run our API. Excuse me. Okay. Let's open Postman. Oh man, it's already 6:15. Where does the time go? Where does the time go? Body, raw. Just do value. Good morning, chat. Okay, let's see if this works. It worked. Cool. All that so that we can just stick this in the data, so we can just stick an access token in the database encrypted. I'm guessing there's already a pre-built API out there somewhere. I probably didn't need to re-implement this all myself, but it was fun to do. It was good times. It was good times. Null handling in C# is so nice. It usually Uncle P, that's a null reference, yeah. But that's why you have the bang operator, so that whenever the compiler says this can be null, then you can do the exclamation point and say, no, I know more than you. Which is often a mistake. You shouldn't actually do that. It's actually a bad idea. Twitch is quiet. Where's my friends? So the stream has been quiet all week. I don't know if people are busy or maybe my channel is dying or what, but the stream has been very quiet all week. I think part of it is the fact that I switched to building stuff with C# and TypeScript. And I think a lot of people who have been hanging out around my stream have been here for the last 2 or 3 months. Have primarily been people that have been following me along as I learn stuff. So I think also the content on stream is different. But yeah, it's been a very, very quiet week. Okay. Well, we can feel confident about that. It's 6:18. So what do we want to do next? Nothing like a Friday morning deploy to staging. Sounds like a thrilling time. I'm here for the long haul. Well, I appreciate that, Uncle Pee-wee. That's very kind of you. It's very, very kind of you. Dogman, I also been thinking of making animations. Go for it, dude. Do your thing. Do your thing. Okay, so what we should do now is... What should we do now? I think what we should do now is we should add support for adding an account. But we don't want to implement the front end yet, or I don't want to implement the front end yet. So I think we should add support for adding an account, but just where's that ASCII diagram? Gemini made a good ASCII diagram of the flow. Where is it? ASCII. ASCII diagram. I think this is it. There we go. I found it. All right, so I say the next thing we do is we implement. Oh, hold on, what? No, that's not the right thing. That's a different one. That's for dealing with the yeah. Let's see, file. Let's put this here. Plaid sync transaction diagram. Save. And then let's do, this is the one I was talking about. It's a little bit more complicated. So in order for Plaid to really work, you have to have a front end because you have to have the user provide permission, right? So you've got to go through the front end logic. But there is a point in the process where this, right, mostly is being facilitated between the user on the front end and Plaid's API. Mostly, your back end is kind of like a proxy to the Plaid API. Your front and your back sort of acts as a proxies to Plaid. But at some point, you get down here where you get a public token, right? And so I think what I'll do is I'll implement an endpoint on my back end that just handles, okay, once we get a public token, right? Because the public token, they have a testing, a sandbox environment that has a test, what do you call it? It has like a fake endpoint where you can just create fake public tokens for fake data. So we can use that to implement this, and then whenever we finish implementing this, we can take on the front end. I've kind of been avoiding doing this because I just haven't been in the mood to write another front end application. Yeah, I think that sounds good. I think that sounds like a good plan of attack at this point. So we need to clean this branch up and get it merged though. So let me save this before I forget. So let's save this as plaid add account diagram. It's crazy how good ASCII diagrams can look, you know? I can't make an ASCII diagram like this, but AI can, and I appreciate that. Good morning, Maddie. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Why did all this? Oh, that's because I removed that using statement. I abuse the global using statements so much. Let's see. So we have program CS. Did we remove the? We need to remove all this. Let's do a quick dot before we get to committing. I have a lot of changes in this branch, like a lot. How do I see how many? Let's see. Git diff summary of changes. Gift it short stat. That's what I want. Git diff short stat. Huh? It sure does feel a lot more than that. 36 files change. Only 165 assertions. Wow. Oh no, but I bet there's a bunch of untracked files. Yeah, there's got to be like a bunch of untracked files. Yeah, there's a ton. There's a bunch down here that aren't tracked. Is there a way that you can git diff or git add untracked file, but don't stage it? I don't really want to stage it though. I guess not. All right, we need to organize this all into some decent commits. Yeah, we can use lazy git. That's fine. Uncle P, so git reset. Will you be creating mobile app for this? I think so. I think I'd like to try my hand at that. I think I'll start with a web app because I really just want to. That'll be the fastest thing that I can get deployed and usable. Yeah, so I'll start with the web app, but I'd really like to have, an application that I can put on the phone. I don't know what's all involved in that. I've never done that before, Cyberlanka, so I don't know what all I would need to do to actually get it published on an app store. I guess I could also just make it like more of a progressive web app to try to recreate somewhat of a mobile app experience. It's not really the same, I would say, as a native app, but it would be nice. It would be nice to have one. Sorry, I was checking my. Okay. Flutter era when? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd do it in Flutter. I think I'd either do it in I think I would either do it in .NET MAUI. Excuse me. Uh, or try to learn one of the native languages. I don't know if I'd want to learn Flutter. I've heard mixed reviews of Flutter. I've heard really good things about React Native. Which again, though, all of this is all secondhand. I've never actually done any of it myself. You know. Uncle Pee Wee, AI at work is just for .md files and finding spaces I leave by accident. That's a good idea. That's a good use case. I tell you what, AI is like for generating ASCII diagrams or mermaid diagrams. It's kind of OP for that kind of stuff. Like I never remember mermaid syntax, and I'm never gonna have the patience to line things up so that they look pretty in ASCII diagrams. So I'll just let generative AI do it. Zhang, Steven, do you not work out and do fitness stuff anymore? I do. I just don't really make content around it. Yeah, I just don't really make content around it. People never seemed interested in any of the content I ever made around it, as evidenced by let's see. Let me see. I think I can find the channel. I mean, I spent like the first 8 years post high school graduation life trying to kind of build a fitness business, and it was a grind, man. It was a grind. Let me see. So you have 155 subscribers and 1,000 videos. So I tried. I made my best effort. It probably wasn't as good as what other people were doing at the time, because when I was making content around fitness, this would have been like peak Christian Guzman era. I don't know if you guys know who that is. If you're a YouTube fitness person, you probably do. But that would have been the same amount of me and him are the same age, and he was crushing it on YouTube. He had been crushing it on YouTube for like 2 or 3 years before I started making content, right? And then Max Tuning, it was also like the peak era of like Max Tuning, which was kind of in that same Alpha Land universe. There was just a lot of people making way better content around it than I was, probably. But it was fun. I mean, I would love to, like, that's part of my retirement plan, is I would love to have like a almost like a private gym, you know? Like I'd love to have a gym that's just for me and my friends and people I like. Algo, Algae, love you, bro. Oh, thanks, man. That's so kind of you. Let's see, bro. I'm learning Java backend development. Very cool. How are you liking it? I've never written any Java. I've only written C# and TypeScript, Go, a little bit of Rust, Python. I've never written any Java though, but I've heard good things. Why there are members only videos? Just as a thank you, really. Just as a thank you to people who sign up to be members. You know, I'm trying to give them a, like, hey, you gave me some money for my channel to support the channel, so let me reciprocate with some content that was just for you guys. That's the reason why. Zang, it's fun, but how often do you hit the gym? Every day. Yeah, I try to train every day. If I don't get in some exercise or some movement every day, then I don't really feel like myself. I've been lifting weights since I was like 12 years old, sixth grade. I started lifting weights every day in sixth grade, and I've probably, between 12 years old and 32. So what is that? 20 years. Um, I've probably been in the gym 95% of those days. Uh, sometimes multiple times a day. I mean, for a long time, I worked at a gym. So since I was from the age of 18 to 22, I worked for commercial gyms. And then from 22 to like 24, I ran my own gym, a small personal training gym. So the gym for me was like, uh, and it still is like, it's one of the places I feel most comfortable and at home in. It's like my third place. People say you got like work and you've got home, and then everyone has like a third place, whether it be like the bar or church or whatever or whatever. And for me, the gym has always been that third place since I was 12 years old. So it's just kind of it's ingrained in me at this point. And if I wasn't honestly, I think I've said this on stream before, but if I didn't have kids, I didn't have a large like overhead that I need, like a large amount of money I need to make every month to like make sure everybody's well taken care of, I would probably just go back and work as like a strength coach or um, yeah, I'd probably go back and try to be a strength coach at this point and just try to get a job either as a PE teacher doing strength coaching at like the high school level or at the collegiate level. You just have to, those jobs are hard. There's not a ton of them, and you sort of have to chase them around the country. And strength conditioning coaches' jobs are almost always pegged to the football coach's job. So if the football coach gets fired, you sort of get fired. Um, but yeah, I would love at some point for that world to become a bigger part of my life again. It's just right now, it's kind of set on the back burner at the moment. Saying, wow, it's nice you can find time for everything. I try to, man. I mean, you just make time for what's important, right? Like, who's that really famous wrestling coach? He said, if it's important, do it every day. I forget who that was. If it is important, do it every day. There's Dan John. Dan Gable is who I was thinking of. Yeah, Dan Gable. Yeah, so to me, lifting weights is important. Writing code is important. Loving my kids is important, right? So I do these things every day, and you just make time, right? We all make time for the things we think are important and are valuable. All right, I'm gonna run upstairs and get another cup of coffee, and then we can come back down and figure out how we're gonna organize these into some commits that make some amount of sense. I should have committed more as I went, but I kind of went on a tear yesterday towards the end of the afternoon, and then things got away from me. Good morning, Born to Shine. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you being a member. I'm just going to run upstairs and get a cup of coffee, but I'll be right back. Obviously, if you're not going to stick around, totally okay. Hope to see you here again. If you are going to stick around, this might be a good time for you to get yourself a hot beverage, and I'll meet you back here in like 2 minutes or so, or 5 minutes. I don't know. Sometimes it takes me longer than I expect. So I'll be right back. I'm getting a little spammy there, dog man. Little spammy. Bola Jamad. Hey, been a minute. Well, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Sorry you showed up when I was not here. But I'm back now. Alright. Let's see. So how should we try to organize these? This is a good question. So I guess let's look at the migrations first. Let's organize those into a commit. So let's do git add physical, or sorry, source physical infra migrations. I mean, part of that's just formatting. Git commit feature and then let's do oops. Let's see. See feature core define primary models services for encryption. Remove unnecessary usings. Let's see, refactor, move database path logic into app context. Add services registrations. This would have been, let's see, feature infra implement create initial encryption implementations. Cool. Added file system. I don't know why .NET doesn't have don't know why .NET doesn't have a built-in file system abstraction that you can use for testing. I mean, I know there's obviously a NuGet package out there for that, but it feels like that should be something that's just baked in. Sure, update example settings file. Add generate key command. And then I'm just gonna let's see. I'm just gonna do this in one big giant commit. Let's see. Tests. Add mucho grande tests. How did I say that? Spanish for a lot. Add mucho tests. Okay. And so then this should be, I think, ready. Actually, hold on. I think actually I broke the test. I think I broke the test. Welcome back. Hey, what's up, Hugo? Good to see you. MFA Cap. Do you build an OS or what is FiscalOS? I'm not building an operating system. I'm fully regretting the naming. And I feel like I might need to rename it because I really didn't think, like, I thought it was a fun name for the application because, like, you know, operating system for your life, operating system for your financial life. Like, I thought it made sense. It was kind of a play on words with the physical. But now I'm realizing that given the audience of a lot of my content, that's probably confusing to them. But I'm not building an operating system. I am building a personal finance app that I want to use to replace this other application that I'm using called You Need a Budget. And this was the name I came up with. So apologies for the misleading name. Maybe I should rename it to like My Mint. Maybe My Mint is a better one that won't confuse people. I mean, it is just an application for me. So like, I should just name it what I want to name it. Confusion be damned. Oh, I didn't break the test. I could have sworn I broke the test. Why didn't the test break? Oh, it generated the implementation itself, I guess? Let's just do let's do return key. Let's return entry. MathCap naming is hard. It is. Naming is hard. Yeah. You're 100% right. Yeah, I just didn't think about that. Like, I didn't think that people would actually think I was trying to build an operating system. Because, like, who does that? Who tries to build their own operating system? To me, that seems like insanity. But I guess some people are more ambitious than me. Okay, so now what we should do is we should do git push, make sure everything's up to date, GHPR create, feature, add encryption. Submit that. And there's no checks yet, so we'll just go ahead and merge it in. GHPR merge. Let's rebase and merge. Do not delete the branch. What's next? Yep, submit. And then we'll get checkout main. We'll pull. Okay, there's on there. And then we'll do get branch. And so now what we want to do is we want to check out add support for adding accounts. So get checkout support for adding accounts. And we want to rebase on top of main, which is going to have all kinds of conflicts, I bet. Let's see, fix conflicts, then run get rebase continue. I'm going to do this in VS Code. This is kind of a pain to do in Neovim. Name suggestions. Get your life. Show me the money. Oh, I kind of like fire, fire, fire. I like that one. That one's a good one. Fire, fire, fire. Let's do...
Did we just become best friends?
Knoxville, thanks for following the channel. Appreciate that. Bob Noel, how's the project? I keep staying up late, missing streams. Oh, no worries, dude. No worries at all. The project's going well. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I've been working through the encryption stuff the last couple days, but that's been a good time. Misi Dueb, do you have a Git repo for your dot files? I don't, but I do have links to like my PowerShell profile, my NeoVim configs, my OhmyPosh configs, but I don't have everything centralized in like one repo. But if you're interested in any of that stuff, you can type if you type !commands or !help, that will give you a link where you can see all the different commands you can use in stream to see like, oh, I want his PowerShell profile, !pwsh, or oh, I want his NeoVim config, !neovim. But that the !commands will take you to a web page that has just like all the things you can do in stream. All right, I have to resolve these conflicts. So let's see, what do I want to do here? I would like to take these out of there, and I would like to put them into here. just gonna do that. Who else is conflicted? Are you conflicted? That's fine. Okay. Get rebase dash continue. Successfully rebased. Nice. Updates rejected with the tip of your current branches behind. Oh, get pull. Yeah, I don't. We've addressed that already. Good deal. Tell you what, those are the cases where I still do kind of like me a GUI. Whenever I have to do surgical Git things, which that wasn't a big one, but whenever I have to do stuff like that, I kind of prefer myself a GUI. We should probably make sure it still builds too. .NET build. Sweet. And then let's make sure the tests run. .NET tests. Cool. All right. We sorted that all out, didn't we? Look at us. We're just doing stuff. We're just over here doing things. Bob Knoll, is it public on GitHub? I can look at the auth. Oh yeah, for sure. It's on GitHub. Let me get the link for you. Control new. Yeah, yeah, it's all right here. I will put it in the chat. It's also in the description, just for reference. I keep it linked in the description of the streams, but I don't mind sticking it in the chat either. Let's see, that's over on YouTube. Here you link to project repo. There you go. Sam Dev, how's the API builder going? It's going good. Yeah, we just made a big old merge into main. So we've got a bunch of good now encryption stuff that we can do to encrypt our access tokens for our accounts. And we have a login endpoint. We have a way to refresh our access tokens. So we don't have much functionality yet. I'll be transparent with that. We basically have the ability to log in as a user and to refresh our token as a user. We need to add probably log out. Like there's some other operations that we haven't really implemented that we need to implement, but probably make more sense whenever we actually get a front end put on. But we did add a bunch of. We added support for encrypting access tokens. That was the last like 24, 48 hours of work was what we did, which was fun. And now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add support for adding accounts is what I'm going to do next. And I don't even know, I don't think accounts are the right word, because if you guys remember when we were exploring Excalidraw, or not Excalidraw, Plaid, some of you might not have been here, but when we were exploring Plaid's data model, they actually have a model that looks more like this, where they have these top level items. They call them items, but they're really kind of like institutions. They're basically the companies that you're doing business with, where your accounts are held. So it's really not so much adding support for accounts as so much as it is adding support for connecting to your bank. whoever you bank with. And I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I need to be able to basically represent. Oh, this shouldn't be accounts. This should be balances. I basically need to be able to represent this hierarchy. And actually, accounts actually is going to also have another table that it's a parent of called transactions. That's the other thing, transactions. But we're not gonna do anything with transactions. We're not gonna do much with balances. We really just want the ability to, like, hey, I'm a user. I log into your application. I see a blank. I basically see like blank, empty state. You haven't done anything. The first thing I should do is I should go connect my bank account to the application. And because that's all the value. I don't want a personal finance app where I have to manually enter transaction data. Like I want the source of truth to be my bank account, and I want to pull that data in to my application so I can just make sense of it all in one place, right? Because right now I have to log into this account, I have to log into that account, right? Or in the case I do use YNAB, but I don't really use YNAB to actually manage. I just use it as a proxy to connect to my bank accounts and pull transaction data into YNAB. And I pay them $15 a month to do that, which seems not smart. And there's way too many bells and whistles in there, so we'll see. We'll see where this ends up going. It's entirely possible I might get all the way to the end of this project and decide, yeah, this was a mistake. But hopefully I'll have learned some stuff in the process and have had a good time. Let's see, will there be a need for a logout in an API? Why not just make it expire after a while? So it will expire. So the refresh tokens only last for 12 hours right now. The access tokens last for 5 minutes, and then the refresh tokens expire after 12 hours. So to your point, it's like, nah, probably not. But if somebody did want to like explicitly, like, I'm logging out of all my stuff, right? It probably would be good to support that functionality, which basically the call to a logout endpoint would be, well, the only thing the logout endpoint would do is it would revoke the refresh token in the database, and then it would clear out the cookie if assuming it's a web app. That's the only thing it would really do, because it is kind of a stateless. We're not really keeping a session. We're kind of keeping a session because we're holding on to a refresh token, but it's not really like like you would think of a traditional session. All right. What to do now? Oh, it's already 7. Damn it. What? Okay, so we did do an initial like POC of what it looks like to talk to Plaid. And so now we just need to abstract this a little bit. So basically everything, let's see, this to do extract to a proper options pattern, to do resolve from DI, let's see, to do this sandbox public token create async. This is really just for testing. We will let's see, we will implement this endpoint as if caller already has valid public token. And then everything down here, though, this is where like we're really gonna do some stuff. So this is where like to do, we need to use public token to persist. I'm just, for lack of a better word, I'm just gonna say persist item, accounts, balances, and access token to the database, plus tie them all to the user who initiated the call. So this is actually where we'll do like the meat and potatoes of this endpoint. This up here is all just kind of, particularly like this is configuration stuff. This is just infrastructure level stuff. But this right here is just for testing purposes, right? So like, we're not actually going to call the sandbox public token create async method inside this endpoint. We're going to assume that we already have a public token because we've gone through the necessary flow on the front end. And I'm saying this more for I'm saying this more to myself than I am saying it to you guys. I hope sometimes you guys don't think like I think that you need to be educated, because that's not what I think. I'm more of like talking out loud to solidify my thoughts. Yeah, so we're here, and we are going to basically assume that when we enter the endpoint, we're here. And then all of this is going to be facilitated primarily through the front end. There is going to be one call on the back end. We have to make one call. The rest happens on the front. And we don't have a front end yet, so can't do much there. All right, folks. Well, I do have to work today, but we're actually traveling to Joplin today, my hometown, to visit family and stuff. So I have to do my normal wrap up time because I still have to pack and whatnot. Just gonna work from the road is the plan. Ek Saros. Hi, I recently started to take an interest in programming and coding, and your channel is one of the first programming YouTube started showing me despite you being a small creator. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you very much, dude. That's very kind of you. Yeah, there's lots of good YouTuber channels on here for learning to program and code. Some of my favorite is WebDev Simplified, WebDev Cody. Who else? Nick Chopsis. I can send you a bunch of links if you'd be interested. But there's so much good YouTube content. My content is much more like, here's what I'm doing, and not really super focused on like, how can I make you a better programmer or coder, right? Like, it's not really a teacher. I'm not really like, I try not to come across like a teacher. I try to come across more like, hey, I also write code and program, and I want to share some of the fun stuff I'm doing with you. But those guys like WebDev Simplified, Nick Chopsis, Tim Corey, those guys are more like teachers. Like their aim is to be like an educator. Bob Noel, nice. Tell your family I said that. Well, thank you, Bob. I will. That's very kind. Hey, Bob, I actually was thinking of the other day. I was at Walmart and I was pushing my groceries to the car, and I thought, did Bob ever get to go see all the Lord of the Rings trilogies in theaters? Remember when we were talking about that? I never got to go, but I wondered if you ended up going. Do you want to save changes? Yeah, you can go ahead and save. That's fine. Save. Plaid dashboard. We can close that. I did not. We got snowed in for a week. Oh, dude, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I kind of regret not going. Yeah. I'm just at a weird stage with my kids where like they're not they're not super interested in a lot of the, like, from a content perspective, they're not super interested, or not, maybe not super interested. They're not old enough, right? Like I couldn't take the boys probably to go see, you know, 3 hour-long movies. But maybe when they're a little bit older, you know, they'll want to go do that kind of stuff. All right, chat. We did it. We got the encryption implemented, and now we get to the fun bits. I appreciate you guys spending your morning with me. Appreciate it a lot. I know I say that every time, but I do appreciate it. Let's see. Housekeeping. Maybe another 25 years, the movies will be back in theaters, and I'll still be alive. Dude, I hope I'm still alive in 25 years. In 25 years, I'll be 57. Yeah, 57. I hope I'm alive. I hope I'm alive, and I hope I'm healthy. Yeah. You go, cool. Yeah, I hope I'm alive, and I hope I'm healthy. Oh, sorry, I haven't been paying attention to Twitch. I'm sorry. Sorry, Uncle Pee-wee. I missed your messages. Steven saying we all uneducated. I did not think you guys are uneducated. Yep, it is the weekend. We made it, man. Friday. We made it. So, as far as schedule for the weekend, I don't know what my stream situation is going to turn out. I am going to take, I'm going to take like a very minimal stream setup to my mom's, but I don't know what their Wi-Fi is going to be like. So we'll see. I'll try to. My plan is to try to get up early tomorrow morning and find a quiet spot in the house and try to stream for a little bit and write code just like I normally would, at least until people wake up. So we'll see how that goes. It may be an utter disaster. So if you come tomorrow morning to hang out, just a fair warning. It may all go terribly, but I'm gonna try. So otherwise, if you're new here, I'm normally live every morning from 4:15 to 7 a.m. I'll put the schedule in the chat. I think Uncle Pee-wee already did it once, but I'll put the schedule in the chat here. And then if you want to hang out outside of stream, the best place to find us is in our Discord. No pressure to join. That's just a place where if you can't always make it to a live stream, that's a good place to get at us. Even if you can't make it to stream, that's okay for us. Well, I appreciate that, Duck Boy. You're so kind. Super duper kind. Uncle Pee-wee, don't ruin my streak. I don't want to. I'm more concerned with the streak than I think you probably are. I kind of like the fact that I can say that I've streamed for like 100 days in a row. So I'm trying to maintain that streak. See you, Duck Boy. There is peer pressure, though. We are cool. Come join us. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate you guys. All right, I'm gonna run upstairs and pack and get ready. I hope you guys have a great weekend. If I see you tomorrow morning for a little bit or Sunday morning for a little bit, it'll be great. But if I don't, no worries. I hope you guys have a great weekend, great rest of your Friday, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye. See you guys. Bye, chat. Appreciate y'all.